Hi parents, welcome to Kindergarten 101. We're basically just going to go over some details about what kindergarten is going to look like virtually as we start out the year, and then as we progress, we will add to and update our information and keep you posted. So, in kindergarten this year, there are 3 teachers, Miss Ginter, Miss Hall, and myself. And our philosophy is that our deepest passion is teaching and working with children to challenge them to grow to their fullest potential. We look forward to learning from and exploring with our students each and every day as we embark on this exciting educational journey together. As we start this exciting and adventurous schedule together, our days at home are going to look structured and similar to the days when the kids come back to school. So we're trying to adhere to and keep a consistency with their half-day schedule. So if your child is an AM student, their hours at school are from 8:45 to 12 p.m. And then if they are an afternoon PM student, their hours are from 12:30 to 3:45. So while we are starting out virtually, if your child is an AM student, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, we will be getting on to a class Google Meet together virtually at 8:45. So this will be about a 45-minute group meeting, and during this time we'll just kind of go over our calendar, we'll do a morning message and just some activities together. And then after that time as a group, we will send the kids off and they will have a chance to complete their work on their own. So we'll be recording lessons for different subjects and uploading those to our Google Classrooms for the kids to access outside of our class meetings. Aside from that, we will also have the kids scheduled for 2 individual times. So I will meet with each child one-on-one for 15 minutes twice a week to go over some skills and just review some things that have already been taught and anything else that we need to work on. This same schedule will be adhered for the afternoon kids. So if your child is an afternoon student, then at 12:30 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have our class meeting. And then the kids will go off on their own and do their learning, watching the videos, completing their work. And then also the PM kids will sign up for 15-minute time slots one-on-one to work with me 2 times a week. You'll see on here, it also says that students are required to have 2 meetings. So as I mentioned before, the one-on-ones, and then there's Wednesdays throughout the districts, and this is a district-wide day that's called Wednesday, W-I-N-S day. And this day is meant for, reaching out with questions that you have, kind of catching up. We'll reach out to the kids that maybe need more help or need to be assessed. So we'll reach out to you if we feel like we need to meet with your child on Wednesday. Otherwise, they'll just continue with their regular schoolwork that day. So on the next slide, you'll see our school supplies. These supplies we have listed are meant for the kids to keep at home while we're virtually learning. And then we'll also ask that they just bring those with them once we're back in the classroom. So you'll see on here pencils, erasers, scissors, that whole list. And then to the right, we also have our list of supplies that were provided in the kindergarten welcome packet. So there's a whiteboard, expo markers, and magnetic letters, which will come in handy for activities that we'll do. And then any extra activities that you would like to do with your child at home with those materials. And since we are starting out virtually, all of the kids have received or should receive a Chromebook. And inside of it, we have placed their login information and username. So all they have to do to log into their computer is look at what their login is. Most of them, it's just their first dot last name. Some of them may have a number and other letters to it. So just make sure that you're looking at the whole login with the dot in between. And then they also have a password. If your child's password is just the basic 1234 1234, which you'll see, that number may change. We will keep you posted if it does. But sometimes they start out the kindergartners with that standard password to get them used to using their password and login information, and then they assign them with a more specific, detailed number. So make sure that they're looking at that when they're logging into their computer. And on the school supply list here, you'll see that if you would like to purchase a case for their Chromebook, it is highly suggested, as they will be, using these more often and manipulating them just to keep them safe. We've also linked on here a Chromebook case that we found on Amazon for about $15. And I actually have this one, and it's really nice. It fits nicely in there and works perfectly. So take a look at that if you'd like. Also, once we come back to school, shoes without laces are requested unless your child knows how to tie their shoelaces independently. Just now during this time, especially with all the germs and things, with having to have other people tie the kids' shoes, it would just be another precaution to take. So something to note for the future. So as we're getting on our Google Meets together as a class and individually, there are expectations, as expectations are also set in the classroom. So we ask that all the kids be on time to their session, whether that be whole class, small group, one-on-one. We ask that all kids wear shirts and pants and dresses or pajamas, just any kind of clothing. We've had a few show up without, or very minimal. So we do, it sounds silly to suggest or state that, but we do ask that all those things are present. Also, when the kids show up, we ask that they have their camera on with their microphone muted unless they're asked to unmute. I don't know if you've been on many Google Meets or Zoom meetings lately, but there's some lag time and there's a lot of background noise when more than one microphone is on. So that's mostly why we ask for that until we call on each individual student or whoever to unmute their microphones. We also ask that the kids are sitting up so we can see their faces, and that they're sitting at a table or a workspace where they can focus, having their materials ready to go, and not eating in front of the camera. And since things look a little different now, we also have included some parent or guardian meet expectations so that when we're meeting as a group with the class, or again, individually or in small groups, these are just things that we ask from you as well. So if you could just sit next to your child, help them mute and unmute their microphone until they're able to manipulate that on their own. Encourage your child to work independently. We ask that you don't give them the answer. Something that we've noticed when we've gone into NTI in the past is that we're asking a question and the parents are so, their child's #1 supporter and advocate, and then they get a little excited and they give them the answer. So the best way to learn is to try on your own. So just making sure we do that. And then if you can make sure that your child has all of their materials ready to go and accessible, that would be great. And then help them learn how to organize their own workspace and make sure that they are in an area where they can focus. And later on in the slide, you'll see some pictures that we have posted of suggested workspaces. So throughout the year, we just have some of our curriculum listed here, but we'll keep you posted, and you'll see as we're working virtually or back in the classroom, the work that your child is completing and the skills that they are working towards mastering. in all subject areas: math, language arts, phonics, writing. But we've listed some here just so you have a basic idea. So starting out, we'll work on letter and letter sounds, sight words, CVC, which are consonant, vowel, consonant words like cat, dog. We'll work on some comprehension skills while reading, such as asking and answering questions, identifying main ideas and supporting details, and so forth. Starting out with math, we will go over our numbers, recognizing them, forming them, counting in groups of them, and we'll also work on comparing those numbers as well. And then later on, we'll get into numbers 6 through 10 and progress from there to work on number sense. And science, social studies, and writing will also be integrated into these two subjects. This slide is just a sample of what our handwriting is going to look like. So we teach traditional handwriting, and this is also an example of some of the language we'll use interchangeably. We teach the kids to start at different places when they're forming their letters. So the top line we call the sky, the middle dotted line is the grass, and the bottom line is the dirt. But we also use language when we're forming these letters, talking about a house, and you'll see that when we're working on handwriting as well. So we just wanted to give you an example. So if you are working with your child at home on handwriting, you can use the same language if you'd like. Throughout the year, we will also be assessing formatively and summatively, which means we'll continually be monitoring and assessing your child's work progress. At the beginning of the year, we implement an assessment known as Bergantz. This is a statewide mandated assessment, and this corresponds with the parent survey that we had you all fill out at kindergarten camp. And this year may look a little different because of the circumstances that we're in, but we'll keep you posted if we do end up administering this assessment. Otherwise, we have our classroom skills assessment checklist, and we also continue to inform you on the results from those. This slide just goes over some skills and different things to work on at home. So you'll see the very first bullet is correcting your child's speech and grammar. This is something that we work on a lot as a class in kindergarten, especially with articulation and using the correct pronouns in speech, such as using he or she or him and her in the correct context. Read with your child 15, 20 minutes a day. Ask your child to retell stories and talk about the books that you read. Also, just having conversations with your child really helps build their language and vocabulary. The materials that were sent home in the kindergarten welcome packet, the whiteboard and alphabet letters and such, as well as in the folder, the flashcards. These are all great materials to use to help your child learn and recognize and memorize all these different letters and letter sounds and skills to use. So those are great to keep on hand, and they don't always have to be used in a rote skill memorization setting. They can also be used in games and however you'd like to set it up for fun ways to learn. So the rest of the bullets talk about other suggested activities and ideas of things to do at home to continue working on the skills that are taught at school. So upon entering kindergarten, your child should be able to print his or her first name, starting with the capital letter. This is something that we iterate over and over to the kids, that when we're writing our name starts with the capital letter and the rest of the letters in our name are lowercase. We also work on coloring, not scribbling, inside of recognizable shapes and pictures. We also work on drawing recognizable shapes and using those shapes to create pictures. They also should be able to name basic colors, identify their basic shapes such as triangle, square, circle, recognize the letters in their name, plus several others. It's funny to hear some of the kids starting out at the beginning of the school year because they are so proud of themselves for knowing how to spell their name and know what it looks like on paper, and they can tell you the name of each letter in their name if they go in order. But if you were to cut their name up and show them one letter at a time out of order, some of the kids have a really difficult time recognizing those letters. So just really making sure that they do know those letters, whether it's sitting inside of their name in order or in a different word or by itself. That is a big skill to have the kids practice and master to start out with. They also should be able to count and understand the values of numbers, especially numbers 0 through 10, and then differentiate between numbers and letters. So knowing what numbers look like and letters look like. They should be able to recognize rhymes, and producing rhymes is a little more difficult, but just having an awareness of hearing sounds words that sound alike and have the same ending. They also should be able to distinguish between words with different beginning sounds. So rug, bug, those two words obviously rhyme, but have two different beginning sounds, not just letters, but sounds as well. And then also retell stories that are read to them. So just basically summarizing what stories are read to them. So for work pickup, especially for our first go round, the first week of school, the first set of take-home work will be available for pickup Friday, August 28th at 3:45 p.m. and thereafter. So this work that will be in this packet will be for the following week of August 31st, and it will need to be returned when you come to school to pick up the next week's packet of work. So all work will need to be returned on Monday. That's what our schedule will be. So your child's first packet will need to be returned Monday, September 7th. And at this time, you will pick up the next packet of work for the following week. And all other information will be posted on our class website. So the QR codes that were in your child's folder at kindergarten camp can be scanned on your phone just using your picture app. And on our website, all of the programs that the kids will be using, all of our teacher videos and lessons will be uploaded, and everything basically that we will be doing will be located on our website. And we will have a tutorial showing you guys where things are located on the website. And at the end of our slide, I will show you a little glimpse of what our website looks like. And then in a separate video, I'll kind of go through the website by itself and just kind of give you a tour of it. So as I mentioned before, these two pictures are examples of kind of these students' workspaces set up at home. So we thought these are really cool, great idea. We've had some questions about how to get your child to focus and really consistency, sticking to the schedule and having their own workspace and materials organized. All of these things play into helping your child stay focused, along with the stretch breaks and brain breaks that we do and things like that. But we found these and thought these are a great example. So if you wanted to replicate something like this at home, I think the kids would love it and it'd be a great idea. So these programs listed here under technology are the programs that we'll use for math, reading, and we'll navigate these together as well as we introduce them to the kids, we'll release tutorials so that you'll also know how to navigate them and kind of what's going on. But ST Math, Google Classroom, Lexia, ABCia, and then Clever are all programs that we will use frequently. Our next slide just kind of talks about our school's positive behavior intervention and support program. So at our school, we use a slogan, SOAR, because we're the Cardinals, and the S stands for being safe, for example, sitting on your bottom, organized, for example, keeping your materials neat and your body organized. A, accountable, doing your best, taking ownership for your actions, and R, respectful, which is sharing, talking politely, raising your hand, using manners, and those sort of things. When we return to school, your child should be able to use the restroom independently. And we put this in here now so that they can be practicing and doing these things at home to prepare themselves for when they return to school. So this includes wiping, buttoning their own pants, zipping, those sorts of things. We are not allowed to go into the restroom with the kids to assist them with these things. So they just need to be able to do them independently. They also need to know how to change themselves if they were to have an accident. So just going over those steps too, and teaching them kind of how to clean up after themselves if that were to happen. They also need to be practicing noticing and monitoring when they need to go, and so that when they feel that coming on, they can ask and absolutely go. Sometimes the restroom's occupied and they may need to wait for a moment. So, talking to them about what that looks and sounds like, and just knowing how to ask before it becomes an absolute emergency, and that will help prevent any accidents. Also, our toilets are automatic flush, so it makes that a louder sound, and kind of the water goes down very quickly. So this makes some kids nervous, and so in this instance, we always tell parents it's a great idea to practice going to a public restroom where they have automatic flush, to get the students used to knowing what that looks and sounds like, and that it's not going to suck them in, and that they're going to be okay. Also be sure that they can wash their hands on their own, using soap correctly, and getting the fronts, backs, in between their fingers, all in their hands, and then getting their own paper towels, and opening and closing locked stall doors. So we do have bathrooms in our classrooms. I do, and Miss Ginter does. Miss Hall does not. But so those are handles that are on the doors. But we do use the restrooms in the cafeteria and throughout the rest of the school that have stalls. So they'll need to know how to close and open the latch for those. If you think it would be a good idea for your child to have a spare set of clothes, you can just leave it in their backpack in a Ziploc bag too. And we highly recommend that, because you never know. There could just be that instance where they may be needed. And we just want to reiterate that we will always let your child use the restroom when they ask. I think it's a misconception a lot of times that we're in the middle of learning and now's not the time, and no, we're human. That's something that has to happen. So we will always let them go when they ask. So thank you for your support and collaboration in, helping them be successful in this. So lastly, I just want to show you quickly what our kindergarten website looks like. And like I said, I'll send out a tutorial of a more specific tour. But on the main page here, you'll just see at the top, welcome to Miss Parton's kindergarten class. So this is just our class website. There's some buttons below. There's the student portal and the parent portal. And the student portal is where the kids will find their days of the week, Monday through Friday, and then also their expectations that we already went over, our Google Classroom where their assignments will be, and then our class meet link, which is what they will click every day when we get together for our class meetings, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then on the main page, the other button is the parent portal. And under this portal, you'll find our weekly to-do list. So we have a little checklist of what the students need to complete each day. It kind of helps you guys stay on track, as well as just supporting them in what they need to get done. We'll also have our newsletters posted here, and those will most likely be posted bi-weekly. And we'll have calendar and dates, the meet expectations that we already went over, ways to contact me, and then our question and answer portal here as well, which we will do our best to keep updated as frequently as possible. And then towards the bottom of the main page, we just have a little virtual classroom and just a little bit of information about myself with some pictures. So as I mentioned, I'll give you a full tutorial later, but just wanted to give you a little briefing of what that looks like, because we'll be using it every day. So thank you guys so much for your support and collaboration. As always, if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out, text me via Remind, email me, and I will be happy to collaborate and touch base with you.